Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce to you the inaugural class of the Marengo Community High School District 154 Hall of Fame. Last February, the Board of Education approved the formation of the Hall of Fame and adopted bylaws for the formation of a committee to gather and review nominations and eventually vote on this year's group of Hall of Fame inductees. This afternoon and evening, an awards program and dinner was held to honor our inductees in our atrium, where they enjoyed a great meal provided by our Culinary Arts Department, and they were officially inducted into the Hall of Fame at that time. During that program, each inductee received a plaque at tonight's award program, and they will also have a plaque in their honor displayed in a permanent Hall of Fame display case that will be in our cafeteria. So I want to congratulate each of them. At this time, I'll ask our principal, Mr. Scott Shepard, to introduce each of them and to read you a brief bio about each inductee. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bertrand. Our mission statement here at MCHS states, MCHS, where learning is valued and excellence is the standard. As I read the description of each of these individuals and teams, I believe you will see that excellence was definitely their standard. Our first inductee was the 1942 football team. The 1942 football team was the first undefeated football team, 9-0 in school history, and was also the North 6 Conference champions. Their season began with head coach Emery Ebert being called into service for his country to serve in the armed forces during World War II. In Ebert's absence, assistant coach Albert Dittman rose to fill the position with the help of assistant coach Gustav Stewart. Following their graduation from high school, many of these team members went on to serve their country in World War II. Representing the 1942 football team here tonight, one of the members was actually at the induction ceremony, but his wife was hospitalized earlier this week and he needed to leave, could not stay for the game. But Hank Hemmingson from that team was here at the program tonight. We were very excited to see him. Two others that are here are Nancy Jimrozic, daughter of Jess Ratfield. And Dick Gustafson, son of Wayne Gustafson. We had many other family members, again, that were here in attendance, and they just could not stay for the game, but we really appreciate it, and congratulations, the 1942 football team. The next person to put in was Homer Bill Berry, the man that this gym is actually named after. Homer Bill Berry coached for 38 seasons. His last 29 at Marengo, where his record was 573 and 211. His teams won 20 or more games 14 times, including 17 regional championships, 5 sectional championships, and 1 super sectional. Coach Berry's career record of 718 and 345 ranks him number 10 on the all-time list of Illinois boys basketball coaches. Coach Berry was also a member of the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. Representing Homer tonight is his son, Bill Berry, and grandson, Brian Berry. Congratulations. The next inductee was Elmer Benke. Elmer was a 6'7" basketball player at MCHS in 1945 through 1947. He led his teams to 24-6 and 26-4 records, winning 2 conference championships. Elmer received a scholarship to play basketball at Bradley University for 4 years. He led the 1949-50 Bradley basketball team to the finals of both the NIT and NCAA tournaments in Madison Square Garden in New York. Elmer went on to a career in the NBA, being the 38th overall pick of the Rochester Royals in the NBA draft, and was later traded to the Milwaukee Hawks. He is also a member of Bradley University Hall of Fame. Elmer now resides in Hoover, Alabama, and was unable to attend this evening, but sent his thanks. Receiving the award tonight for him was longtime coach here at Marengo Community High School, Roger Cannon. The next individual inducted into the Hall of Fame, Alex Chico Alvarez. Alex Chico Alvarez has been a loyal, passionate Marengo Indian for many years. Chico contributed 40 years of meritorious service to Marengo Community High School. He is a 1956 graduate of MCHS where he excelled in football, baseball, and track. In 1980, Alvarez helped start the Marengo Booster Club, of which he served as president for 25 years. Congratulations, Alex Chico Alvarez. He is with us tonight. The next individual is Scott Gustafson. Scott Gustafson is a graduate of MCHS, class of 1975. Scott has become a nationally recognized artist and illustrator of children's books, having had artwork commissioned by the Saturday Evening Post, DreamWorks, and the Greenwich Workshop. Scott is a Chelsea Award winner for illustration and Silver Award winner for the Best Children's Picture Book. He is also a publisher, writer, and illustrator of Eddie, the Lost Youth of Edgar Allan Poe. His artwork can now be found on calendars, puzzles, and on many children's books, and we are privileged to have him here tonight. Please join me in welcoming Scott Gustafson. The next individual is Carl Lundgren. Carl Lundgren is a 1898 graduate of MCHS. Carl went on to pitch for the Chicago Cubs from 1902 to 1909, from whom he won 92 games. He was a starting pitcher for the Cubs on their 1906 National League pennant and 1907 and 08 World Series championship teams. Prior to playing for the Cubs, he played football and baseball at the University of Illinois. After his professional playing career, Carl went on to become a highly successful college baseball coach at Princeton University, the University of Michigan, and the University of Illinois. Please join me in congratulating Carl Lundgren. And the last gentleman is Rod Poppy. Coach Poppy, for whom our football stadium and outdoor athletic fields is named after. Rod Poppy served at MCHS for 37 years, from 1957 to 1996 as athletic director, teacher, and coach. Rob served as the head football coach for 23 years, where he had 144 wins and 54 losses record, including 4 consecutive seasons without a loss. He also served as sophomore basketball coach for 13 years and head boys baseball coach for 8 years. And I know that Coach Poppy has had an incredible influence on many people here in this community and continues to do so. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Coach Rod Poppy. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an absolute privilege to put in this first class into the MCHS Hall of Fame. Tonight we had a great meal. If you would like to nominate somebody for the MCHS Hall of Fame, you can get information off of our website, www.mchs154.org. We had an awesome number of people fill out forms, and we want to continue to see this class grow. But for a first class inauguration tonight, what an awesome class to bring in. So one more time, please join me in congratulating the first class of the Marengo Hall of Fame. Congratulations. ladies and gentlemen. I also want to thank the Crystal Lake South crowd for being patient with us tonight in the induction ceremony, and especially the coaching staff for working with us tonight, making this night special for our kids and for our honorees. So thanks again, Crystal Lake South.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to our live broadcast of Marengo Indians boys basketball on IHSA TV. My name is Tom Price, and I'm here alongside R.J. Meyer. And I'd like to start by apologizing for my voice. I had a cold earlier this week that did a snap, crackle, pop job on my vocal cords. But I'm going to give it the best I got. Big thing of water and a handful of Ricola. Isn't that right, R.J.?
That's absolutely right, but here I am loud and clear. Let's talk about the game tonight. Crystal Lake South is coming in at a 10-14 record. They've won 3 out of their last 5. Most recently had a pretty close game against Dundee Crown, winning 53-50. Rogers is their leading scorer, averaging 12.5 points per game, but in the last game scored 23 points. Geske is their second leading scorer, scoring 19 in that game, and I guess the Gators just kept the pressure and they just kept coming in. Unfortunately, the Gators are going to be without Eric Schiller tonight, who suffered an injury during the Prairie Ridge game, so he's going to be watching and supporting from the bench, but I expect this to be a pretty even match. What do you think?
I think absolutely. I do want to say that the Gators kind of felt in the last 5 games that this was a reboot. They were ready to get into the last part of the season. It was a whole new season. And they really have come out with a new attitude and effort. The Marengo Indians on the other side are 10-16 overall. In their last 5 games, they beat Harvard, lost to Richmond Burton, beat Genoa Kingston in a close one, 67-64, defeated Rockford Christian, and then lost in their last game to Burlington Central, 63-57. Their leading scorer is Adam Rogatich, averaging about 10 points a game. And he scored 22 in their game against Burlington Central. I'd also like to announce that the Indians have been put into the 3A Woodstock North Regional, and they will be playing on Tuesday, February 26th against Woodstock North at 7:30. We've got about 2 minutes left here until our national anthem at the start of this ball game. Again, it is Crystal Lake South versus Marengo on IHSA TV.
All right, we've got 2 kids coming up, but if they don't come up right away, I'm just going to zoom out until they do come up.
What did he say?
I just gave him a hard time. All right, that's as far out as I can go.
Do I sound awful?
Not great, but not great. We'll make do. Yeah, I guess one kid's going to control the IHSA TV one. The other kid's going to control the... Yeah, all you gotta do is just follow the ball.
All right. Cool?
All right, man.
I'm off.
Please rise and remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem by Marengo's own Shelby Moss.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming
Number 5, Bardish. Number 14, Johnson. Number 20, Smith. Number 21, Rogers. And number 32, Geske. The Gators are coached by Matt LePage and assisted by Carson Sturkey. Now the starting lineup for your Marengo Indians. First, a sophomore, number 4, Weston Shepard. A junior, number 10, Max Cundy. A junior, number 33, Adam Morogatich. A junior, number 40, Andrew Volkening. And a senior, number 25, Jesse Darlington. The Indians are coached by Dave Grant, assisted by Nate Wright, Jeremy Burke, and Bruce Michael.
So here we are set to start with tonight's game. Marengo Indians playing against the Gators of Crystal Lake South. If you didn't hear that, just want to announce some of the starters here. Barsh for the Gators, number 5, Barsh. Number 14, Johnson. Number 20, Smith. Number 21, Rogers. And Geske, number 32. For the Indians, it's number 4, Shepard, Cundy, Darlington, Rogatich, and Volkening, and we have the tip, and the Gators will control.
I think it's important to note that both teams match up pretty well height-wise. Smith is going up against Volkening. Smith for the Gators is 6'5". Volkening for the Indians is 6'6". Should be a pretty interesting battle down low.
Gators' first shot is a pass into Rogers, who turned around but was fouled on the ground before that shot was up. So Rogers looking to inbound. He's going to go over the top to Barsh. Barsh moves to the right. Passes over to Johnson. Johnson's going to inbound. Put it inside to Smith. Smith back over to Barsh. Smith in the middle, left alone. Looked to pass to Rogers, but that one was tipped and then picked up by Shepard. Rogatich with a drive across. The scoop in and is good. The Indians are first to get on the board.
Indians had a nice little transition play there. It looks like part of their game plan is going to have to be to push it up the floor to Crystal Lake South, who looks like they're kind of caught off guard right now.
It's a good start for the Indians there. Good start for Rogatich to get on the board early. Geske with the drive. That drive is good, making it to the basket, and we've got a 2-2 game. Weston Shepard to bring the ball up. He's testing that right side. Moves it back to the left, inside to Volkening. Takes one dribble, shot is up and no good. Barsh for the Gators with the rebound. He's going to push the ball ahead to Johnson. Johnson drives, shot is up, no good. Shepard corrals that rebound, then pushes it down the floor. Cross court over to Darlington. Darlington inside to Volkening. Volkening with the turnaround, but he's fouled on the ground. So the Indians will have it out of bounds. Pretty good pace for the Indians so far. Shepard inbound over the top to Darlington. Back to Shepard on the left wing. He'll move it back up to the top of the key. Connects with Volkening. Volkening over to Rogatich. Back to Weston Shepard on the left wing. Cundy with it on the far wing. Inside to Volkening looking. Shepard's finally going to put up the three. That one no good. Rebounded by Geske. Push it up himself. Passes it over to the left wing. Inside for Rogers, and Rogers is in and good. South with a 4-2 lead. It looks like one of their big plans is to get inside to Rogers. He is their leading scorer. Weston's going to take it himself, and he pulls up the charge. Barsh was down there waiting for him.
The Indians need to do a better job of getting to the rim. I know Weston Shepard just took a nice little drive there, but the Indians, after that first transition points, are just kind of passing it around the perimeter, hoping that their inside post can find a hole, find a gap. Whereas the Gators, on the other hand, they're really looking to move that ball. They're really looking to kind of attack right now.
Rogers connects with Geske. Geske knocks down the jumper near the top of the key, and the Gators extend their lead. Darlington off the right wing. Passes it back to Shepard at the top of the key. Shepard to Volkening. Passed it back to Rogatich. Back to Volkening. Patience here by the Indians, looking for the opportunity. Connects with Shepard. Shepard's going to shoot the three from the top of the key. Incomplete. Rebound is picked up by Barsh. Barsh to number 23. That's Johnson. Incomplete. Rebound by Volkening. Given to Shepard. Shepard will give it to Cundy. Along the baseline, it's back out, and the Indians will reset.
I think it's pretty clear right now that the Indians are trying to dictate the pace of the game. They're being patient. They keep looking for their opportunities.
They're trying to work it into Volkening, and they just did there, but he's fouled. That is again on the ground. That's 2 team fouls for the Gators this far, and the ball will be out of bounds underneath the basket.
Subs are checking into the game currently.
In comes Kissick and Velasquez for the Indians.
And Max Meitzler for Crystal Lake South is checked in.
Velasquez inbounds to Cundy. His shot is incomplete, and Rogers hauls it in for the Gators. Ahead to Barsh. Barsh gives it to Geske on the right baseline. That pass is errant and stolen by Shepard. Shepard ahead to Kissack. What a move by Kissack. Avoiding the defense of Barsh. Gets the foul. Basket is good.
That was not an easy play right there, but that was a heck of an athletic move.
Yeah, he turned sideways. It was like he flipped it in over his head with his right hand.
Kissick is coming into this game a little tired. He played pretty much every minute of the sophomore game prior to this one, so he's got his work cut out for him.
Definitely just have to see some of that athleticism and
great rebound
in this game.
Great rebound by Rondorf. Went up tough, got fouled. Indians are definitely winning the foul battle right now. The Gators have 4 fouls, Indians 2.
Kissack's miss on that free throw was wrangled up by Rondorf. He's into the game. That's number 44, Dustin Rondorf. He's been a workhorse under the glass for the Indians all season. His first shot is good. Second one away. Short off the front of the rim. And the Gators corral it in.
4:15 left in that first quarter.
Barsh brings it down inside to Geske. He's blocked, but a foul is called on the inside. That'll be the Indians' 3rd team foul. Geske will go to the line.
First shot is good. He's got one more at the line. Second shot is good. Gators lead 8-5.
Shepard to bring it up. Moves to the left side, receives a high pick from Rondorf, who rolls to the basket. Nice pass to Velasquez, who goes up. Incomplete, but Dustin is there, and the putback is good. Nice rebounding. I like that high pick and roll play for the...
I'll tell you what, though, the Indians got lucky there. Anytime when your big man gets the ball in the paint and he dumps it off to a guard, you always got to wonder about that decision.
Down on the other end, Velasquez fouls Geske.
That's his second foul.
Second foul, and Indians' 4th team foul here with 3:43 left.
Velasquez is going to have to sit for a while. That's just not smart basketball.
Mahoney inbounds it to Rogers. Rogers charges ahead. Bodies strewn all over the floor, but it's going to end up being Indian basketball.
If I was a ref, I don't know how you call that. That's just a bunch of guys just falling at the same time.
I think that's why he just let it and said it was an out of bounds. So Shepard will bring it up the floor for the Indians. Gives it to Kissack. Back to Rogatich at the top of the key. He connects with Cundy in the corner. Cundy works his way around. Looked like a pass or a shot that's gotten by Rondorf, and Rondorf with a putback. He's got 5 on this game so far in just the last couple of minutes of being in here.
They've been going to Rondorf now for the 3rd time down the floor, and it's starting to pay off on the board.
Barsh with from the top of the key. He shoots it incomplete. Ball out of bounds. It'll go to the Indians.
Indians take possession with 3:01 left in the first quarter.
It's their first lead of the game since the beginning.
Shepard's got the ball, calling out a play. Let's see what they do here.
Rogatich from the top of the key back to Rondorf. Rondorf over to Cundy. Back to the top of the key to Shepard. But we have a foul, offensive foul against the Indians, their 15th foul.
Looked like an illegal screen against Rondorf.
Indians showing a new look here. Looks like a 1-2-2 half-court trap. And it very nice defense. Rondorf with the pickoff on the cross-court pass. Weston gets ahead to Rogatich, but they'll back it out to the top of the key. Shepard tests the right side over the top to Rondorf. Another pick and roll, but that one's taken up by the South. Quickly down the floor, Geske lays it in for another Gator basket.
Gators lead 10-9. Shepard with the ball on top of the key. Indians still passing it around the perimeter. Cundy with a shot from the arc. Incomplete. Indians ball. Subs checking back in. Volkening replaces Rondorf down in the paint.
Shepard inbound. He's going to go out to the top of the tee. Cundy's going to knock down the 3 from there. And you're hoping that's a sign of things to come for the Indians.
That was a sweet shot. The Gators left him wide open on that inbounds play. I don't think they'll be making that mistake again.
Mahoney takes it baseline, then kicks it back out. Metzer, shot from the outside is no good. Taken by Volkening on the rebound and quickly ahead. Kissack underneath gets a nice pass from Cundy. Shoots it up but is fouled. So he'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Price, if we revisit that last play, 50 Metzler, he's their big, and he's shooting from the outside. I would make a mental note of that right away. If they've got a big man that can extend the floor, you got to wonder how you're going to defend that.
That's going to be an issue. Fortunately for the Indians, both their big people are very mobile players. We're talking about Rogatich here and Volkening. I think they would be able to defend inside and out.
Smith and Frericks check into the game for the Gators.
Kissack hits both.
Indians are up 14-10.
Rogers with a hard drive to the basket, fouled what appears to be on the ground by Shepard. Basket is no good, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2, the 6th team foul for the Indians.
Rogers is one of those guys. Coach Pettit for the Indians has to make sure that he does not get hot. He is definitely a difference maker for the Gators.
It's those quick little drives. He seems to be favoring that, particularly that far left side.
That could also be an offensive scheme, too, for the Gators. Maybe they just tend to set him up a little bit more on that side to free up Smith on the other in the paint.
I'd agree. So Marengo with a 14-12 lead at the 120 mark.
Darlington is in the game for Shepard.
Darlington brings it up. Connects with Rogatich to Volkening, back to Darlington. Darlington hits Cundy. Cundy, after hitting that first one, throws up another one, but that one is no good. Smith on the rebound. Barsh brings it down. Quick passing by the Gators, but picked off by Darlington of the Indians. Darlington's going to bring it down and connect with Cundy in the corner. Looking inside for Rogatich or Volkening. Now they're going to set up the pick and roll.
Darlington just waved him off. I wonder if he saw something that wasn't quite there.
They're going to hit with Rogatich at the top of the key. He's looking for a place to go.
Yeah, those dribbles aren't going to get Rogatich anywhere. He's got to put that ball and get to the basket. That's got to be Rogatich's game plan.
We're inside 30 seconds now, clearly looking for the last shot. And that's going to be Kissack with a beautiful drive. In, does not go in, but Volkening there to clean up the mess.
Cleaned up his mess, got his own rebound, and got the score. Time running out. 4, 3, 2. Gators missed. Last second shot. In and out.
Incomplete, and it's Marengo with a 16-12 lead. You know who I really liked in the end of that fourth quarter there was Kissack. I think he came in, gave him a bit of a spark, got on the defensive end, and also on the offensive end. For such a little guy, he's still getting points down the post.
He's one of those guys. I think he's just a pure energy guy. He's a pure hustle guy. His motor's always running. He's one of those guys any coach would love to have on his team. Coaches are making their adjustments as we head into the second quarter. Right now, we've got some leading scorers. Nick Geske for the Gators currently has 8 points. How are the Indians doing, Price?
For the Indians, it appears that who's on the floor now, number 45 is their leading scorer, and that's Kissack with his 4 points. But with Shepard and one of the key players that I think is going to have to get going here as this game goes on is Rogatich. He is their leading scorer in the season, and he's only got 2 points thus far.
He's doing a lot of dancing around the top. I'd like to see him working a little bit more inside, flashing to the ball, trying to put that ball on the floor, going directly to the basket.
I think that's something the Gators are taking away. They're really doing a nice job preventing that dribble penetration and getting over the top of those screens well.
Well, the Indians start the second quarter with a miss, and the Gators start the second quarter with a block and a foul.
And that foul there is going to put give the Gators their 6th foul. So the next one's going to put the Indians on the line. Darlington brings it down. Caught up in the corner, quick over to Rogatich. To Cundy on the far side. Cundy over the top to Volkening. Volkening up. Shot is no good, but picked up by Kissack. Hey, there's that little spark plug for the Indians.
There's that spark plug. Volkening had a nice attempt with the left hand from the block. He just couldn't quite get it to go, but Kissack came in all the way from the free throw line, grabbed a rebound, and tried to go up strong.
So Kissack will go to the line to shoot 2. Connects with the first one, continues to be the Indians' leading scorer with 5. Second one is no good. Rebound taken by number 10, that's Oros. He'll pass it over to Johnson. Johnson to Rogers, and there's Rogers driving from that left side to the block again.
That was a beautiful spin move by Rogers. It's too bad that didn't go in.
Rebound.
Indians did have the presence down low.
Absolutely. Rebound taken by the Indians, but they quickly throw it away. Kick over, that's
a three-point attempt by Geske there. That was a smooth stroke all the way in.
the Gators close the gap on the scoreboard. We got a 17-15 game. Kissack with the ball up top to Rogatich. Over to Darlington. Darlington's going to go. He's going to kick it across to Cundy. Cundy with an open jump shot. In and out. And the Gators, Geske brings it back down the floor. Over to Barsh.
Good ball movement by the Gators. They're looking for that opportunity. They're looking
Johnson
for that
in the
right
corner.
shot.
Absolutely. Seeing a little more patience out of the Gators.
I think it's starting to pay off. They're really starting to close the gap. The Indians had a nice little run there at the end of the first quarter, but the Gators are coming back in this quarter. LePage has made some nice adjustments.
Barch with a three-point shot from the outside is no good. Rebound by Darlington. Brings it up the side. Geske guarding Kissack fouls him on the exchange between Darlington and Kissack. That's going to put them over, and the Indians will get 2 or 1-1 in the bonus.
With 5:46 left in the second quarter, this game is turning out what we thought it was going to be. It's an evenly matched game. Both teams have 10 wins on the season. I think it's going to go back-to-back all the way to the very end.
Check that. It must have been a foul against the Indians or at least some kind of turnover. So the Gators have the ball back. Geske with it at the top of the key. Over to Johnson. Johnson with a quick pass into Rogers, who misses the bunny but gets fouled and go to the line for 2.
Rogatich was fronting Rogers in the post, and he just kind of slipped away a little bit, freeing up Rogers. The Indians did a nice job with the help side defense there, but they just couldn't quite get over fast enough, and they got him on the arm.
Rogers is quite a handful down there watching this game so far.
Indians might want to be careful. Rogers is a good free throw shooter. Just third one of the night. Smith checks out of the game in favor of Max Meitzler.
Rogers now with an opportunity to tie this one up at 17, and he does.
This game is tied, and Rogers is starting to find his game plan a little bit. Indians need to do a better job of containing him.
Darlington brings it down. Gets caught up there at the top, and the ball stripped away by Geske. Geske drives down but can't connect. Rogers picking up the loose ball, shoots it, and is fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot another 2, so Rogers starting to make his presence felt.
Rogers has 6 points on the game so far. He's doing what he needs to do to get the Gators back into this game. 18-17, he makes that first attempt.
And the Gators with their first lead since halfway through the first quarter. Darlington to bring it down.
This is going to be one of those games where timeouts are going to be extremely important. But I think Coach Pettit should consider a nice little break in momentum here for the Indians. The Gators keep scoring, and the Indians, they're looking for any solution right now to that Gators defense. They are swarming.
Indians offense is looking a little panicked here. Darlington settles it down, shoots a 3 from the corner, incomplete.
Rogatich did a great job in the middle of the paint fighting for that rebound, and he put up a nice 6-foot floater to give the Indians tie game with the Gators. Uh-oh, we got a steal.
Nice steal. Who is that? That's number 11. That's Simonini, Hunter Simonini.
I have to say, Simonini was playing in the sophomore game as well. Coach Pettit looks to go to his sophomores for a nice little energy boost. I think that's a great move, and it shows a lot of faith in the sophomore players that are coming up next year.
So Simonini's steal of Mahoney there at half court. Drove it down, was fouled, didn't make the shot, but goes to the line to shoot 2 and makes the first half of those 2.
That'll give the Indians a 1-point lead with the second attempt up, and good. Indians up by 2, 21-19. 4:11 left in the second quarter.
Geske over to Rogers, then a quick one to Metzer. Metzer, very nice pass from Rogers to Metzer. Metzer ties it up at 21. Darlington brings it back down. Over to Rondorf. Rondorf quick to Rogatich. Ball ends up back, and Velasquez shoots the 3, incomplete. Geske with the rebound. Pushed it down the floor and attempted a quick pass to Barsh off those fingertips, but tipped away by the Indians. So Rogers to inbound.
Rogers is spending an awful lot of time in that paint. He's really looking for that basketball.
Miscue by Mahoney. That's his second turnover right away, and he's going to take a seat. That turns the ball back over to the Indians. Velasquez into Darlington.
It's been a while since we've seen Austin Shepard on the floor. I'm kind of wondering if Coach Pettit is saving him for the last final run of the quarter.
That could be. Ball tipped by the Gators, but rounded up by Rondorf. Darlington has it up near half court.
Gators are putting a lot of pressure up front against our Indian point guards.
Velasquez over to Rondorf. Rondorf to Rogatic at the top of the key. Rogatic to Darlington. Geski's been all over Darlington, giving them a hard time, making it difficult for the Indians to get into their offense. Velasquez back to Darlington. Indians content to spread this one out, but Velasquez gets open, dribbles right down the middle lane, and scores for the Indians.
Velasquez had a beautiful drive and kind of finished it with a little backhanded, right-handed layup.
Nice call by Pettit there. The Gator pressure had been giving them fits, so they spread it on out, say, okay, come get us, and then we'll drive right by you.
Oh, yeah, I agree. The dribble drive offense is a tough offense to contain in a situation like that. And if you're not playing help side defense, you're exposed.
Gators bring it back down where Rogers gets the ball in the post. He's fouled and will go up and shoot another 2 free throws. So Rogers now with 9 and Geske with 11. The rest of the team, a bunch of goose eggs.
Rogers' first miss from the free throw line, but he's been the driving force this quarter. Somebody's got to do something about him. He's going to get his points, but they got to limit those points early.
Indians with some really nice passing there. Ball finally ends up in Rogatic's hands, and that's number 33, Rogatic, hitting the 2 right of basket.
I get the feeling Rogatic was going in for the rebound, and the ball just somehow made it into his hands. He looked a little surprised and rushed on his shot, but luckily for the Indians, it went in.
Geske to Smith. Smith goes up, but he's fouled. That's the Indians' 10th foul.
Pettit's over on the sideline with his hands in the air, wondering if that was maybe a foul at all.
He went up strong, and the ball came out. So whether it was a hand in a ball or an arm. But his first one is no good. Indians still with 1:52 left in this half with a 25-22 lead.
Kissick checks into the game over Velasquez.
Darlington pushes it ahead, trying to find an open player. Gets mugged there at the free throw line, and yes, I think they should call a foul. And that's going to send Darlington to the line for 2. I believe that's their 10th foul.
Brian Frericks checks in for the Gators.
It's a 9th or 10th foul here, so it's either 1-on-1 or 2. And that was a 1-on-1. The first one is no good. Gators bring down the rebound. That was Smith. Gives it over to Geske. Geske tests the middle of that floor. Shot is up, no good. Kisak on that rebound. He's going to push it ahead. Over to Darlington, who works it back into the middle of the court. Then to the far side, Geske is all over him. To Rogatic, out to Simonini, shoots a 3 from the corner, no good. But there's Kissick with the offensive rebound. And the Indians have a reboot.
We got 1:05 left in the quarter here.
Vokanin to Rogatic, to Darlington, back to Simonini. Simonini over to Rogatic. And that one's taken away by number 22, Frericks. Frericks passed it into Rogers, who's fouled by Rogatic.
His feet just weren't quite set, so he got the block instead of the charge that maybe he was looking for. That was a great hustle play by the Gators. Nice steal and a nice look for Rogers, just flashing right down the middle of the floor. Another rare miss by Rogers. He'll get one more from the stripe. Indians up 2, 25-23, 52.2 on the clock. Darlington's going to bring this ball up nice and slow while Pettit calls out what he wants the Indians to do in this situation.
They're going to go ahead and spread that floor. Kissack drives down the middle. Ball was lost but picked up by Volkening. He kicked it back out top.
Volkening was
Kissack
a little
drives.
slow to get up here. I hope he's all right. Ooh, this can't be good.
Over and back's going to go against the Indians. An errant pass by Kissack. They got a little rush there.
28.1 on the clock. You got to wonder if the Gators are going to wait for that last call. Metzler checks into the game for the Gators.
Quick pass in to Geske. No good. Geske looking to drive. Now I'll kick it back out.
Gators
Johnson.
are being extremely patient here.
Johnson resets at the top. Then Barsh at the top. Quick pass back to Johnson. Johnson called for a travel. So the Indians are going to get back with 10.9.
Gators are going to apply a 3/4 court pressure a little bit on Darlington. Oh, turnover.
Pass intended for Cundy. It's turned over, but Geske with a little gift misses the easy open layup. And the Indians will go ahead and take their lead 25-23 into the locker room. Hey, stick around because here at halftime we have our very own Marengo Indians dance team. And after that, RJ and I will come back with the keys for both teams to the second half.
Tonight for your halftime entertainment, we have the Marengo Dance Squad.
Hey, apple water. Can we go thrift shopping?
It was 99 cents. I took go and get some out when it's passing off on the clock. I see someone else go. I wait for me and what I just don't take a pause and say, I'm on my knees and I'm not happy that's the morning. I'm taking care of stuff. I'm taking care of stuff. No, for real. Sure. Can I have this baby now? We got the bill out. I'm going on some bags. We got $20 in my pocket.
not that great with like doing some of this stuff, getting like one point where you're like looking over for like to do that, and I'm like,
Is that your grandma's coat?
I'm getting it. I'm thinking the score is kind of a pain in the butt.
Updating the scores kind of crazy.
MCHS and we're headed to the top. This is our year and we won't be stopped. Dance, let's hear it, scream and shout. Show those gators what we're all about. We won't be defeated, we won't be outdone. Grim and white, we're number one. Here we go, 1, 2.
Are they announcing anything else? I got a couple.
And we're back. We've got 4:48 until the teams resume, and this is exactly what it's turning out to be. An evenly matched game for two 10-win teams looking to end the season with some momentum as they head into regionals.
I absolutely think so, and it's been a very good game, up and down both ends of the floor. What do you think are some of the keys for the Gators?
Well, I think the Gators really need to focus on getting offensive and defensive rebounds. They're allowing the Indians to dominate the boards on both ends of the floor, and they're really allowing the Indians to dictate the pace of the game. Since the beginning of the game, it's been a slower paced game. It's been very controlled by the Marengo point guards, and right now the Gators, I think, are struggling with a little bit of that pacing. How about for the Indians?
I think there's two things. They're going to have to get Rogatich more involved. I think Geski's doing a great job against Darlington, defending him, really forcing them to have to run their offense high. Pettit changed to that spread offense. Great idea, but they've got to break through there and get it towards the basket and get it more into Rogatich's hands. Second, I think they have to continue to make sure limit South's second chance opportunities on the board. And finally, get more offensive rebounds, even more than they've had so far. Because you know South, those two guards, they're going to keep going up. Rogers is going to keep getting in the line. So
And that's a great point. Rogers fueled the Gators' second half comeback there. He was the energy. He was the drive. He was the one getting to the line. And both teams right now need to be concerned about 10 fouls in a half. That's too many fouls. It's guaranteed 2 shots every time, you decide to hack somebody. So that is definitely a concern if I am Pettit or LePage heading into halftime.
Absolutely. I love too, the way Kissak's played in this game thus far. I think Cundy's gotten some good shots. I think he has to continue to look for those three-point. Vulcaning, a little stronger down on the post. If they keep doing those things, those little things, I think they'll do okay.
And that's a great point. Kissick came in for the Indians, real high energy guy, definitely a spark. And then for the Gators, you've got Metzler coming off of the bench, and he's been a great spark as well. Maybe not heading into this game as one of their primary scorers, but tonight he's definitely turned into one of those guys.
I think so too. Another player I like for the Indians has been Rondorf. The offensive boards, I think he is definitely a workhorse, and that's going to have to continue to be the case in the second half.
Absolutely. Rondorf has done a great job of scrambling for loose balls, and he's done a really good job of cleaning up the glass for some of the Marengo guards that just can't quite find the rim tonight. Crystal Lake South, though, however, we need to talk about Stephon Smith. 6'5" center. They got to find a way to get him involved. Anytime you get a 6'5" kid on the floor, you got to find a way to get him opportunities and chances by the basket.
Indians have kept him relatively quiet. He's gotten the ball a few times down the post, but hasn't quite been able to convert, maybe gotten to the line. He's got, 2 points, 4 points, I think. So the Indians have done a nice job there. It's Geske and then, of course, Rogers getting to the line, who have been the real thorns in the Indian side.
Yeah, that's been a real issue. if I'm Pettit heading into halftime, my focus has to be on stopping those two guards. You've got Rogers that we've talked at length about, but then you also need to worry about Geske. A little bit smaller, but just as quick. They both have great spin moves to the basket, and the Indians are getting themselves caught on the arms as they go up for those attempts.
One of the things I noticed was that Weston Shepard didn't make an appearance there much in that, or at all in that second quarter. I wonder if that
Pettit
might be a response to the pressure that Gatske was putting on them.
Yeah, Pettit went with Darlington, a little bit more experience, senior guard, definitely a smart player. The differences between him and Shepard, however, Shepard does extend the floor a little bit with that three-point shot. So if I'm Pettit, I got to find ways to get Weston Shepard the basketball.
If the Gators continue though to pressure up top, up high into that towards that midcourt line, it's not going to be a three-point game. It's going to have to be a drive it to the basket and make the layup. All right, we're ready to get started. Darlington ready to inbound for the Indians. Marengo's going to line it up. Split. Shepard has been back into the game, along with Rogatich, Darlington, Volkening, and Kunde. Shepard's going to move it back over to the near side here. It's Volkening. Volkening's pass. They've got an over and back. The pass was a little errant.
You can attribute that to Crystal Lake South's defense. They were putting a lot of high pressure on the Indians there, and the only available pass, unfortunately, was just on the wrong side of the floor.
I think they perceive a weakness there in their ability to handle that pressure and continue to go after that. So Barsh with the basketball. Let's pass it into Johnson. Johnson looking on the inside. There's Rogers again, their key target. That pass just off. Volkening picks it up over to Darlington, and then Shepard brings it down the floor for the Indians. Cross court to Kunde. You see these Gators are putting a ton of pressure, and Kunde did exactly what the Indians are going to have to do, and that is drive to the basket. His pass was a good one, but Volkening couldn't handle it, and the Indians turned it back over to the Gators.
Yeah, Volkening holds on to that basketball. That's a dunk, or that's 2 points right there. In a game like this, those points are gold. You can't give up opportunities like that.
If the Indians can start breaking down that defense, that changes the nature of this game. But until they can do that, I'd be very nervous right now.
I think it's pretty clear the adjustment the Indians have made on defense. Every time Rogers looks to get that ball in the post, there's 3 guys looking to deny him the basketball.
Indians continue to sped the floor against this defensive pressure. They're going to look to break you down. That's Shepard. Shepard had a very nice drive, and that's exactly what we just saw Kunde do. And now Shepard did it. That's 2 decent looks for the Indians right here to start. I think that if they continue to do that, the Gators are going to have to pull off that pressure.
Yeah, Crystal Lake South, they're doing an okay job of providing some help side defense, but anytime they come over to help side D, you got 2 bigs just waiting there in that short corner for the Indians, and that's something that LePage is going to have to adjust.
Barsh takes it the length of the floor and gets a quick response score, so the Indians still up by 2. Gators still trying to pressure on the outside. There's Kunde again with a hard drive. Up, no good. The rebound taken by Rogers. He takes the length over to Barsh, and the Gators have tied this one up. Darlington continues to bring that ball down the floor. He'll take it to the far side over to Weston Shepard. Out near the volleyball line. Shepard's going to take it himself. Straight up. Basket is good, and the foul. That was Geske trying to take the charge, but just didn't quite get underneath him.
Shepard's going to get 1 from the line, and I think it's a great job. Like you said, Pettit has made an adjustment to spread the floor and get drives and penetration from his guards.
That's a quick 4 points for Shepard to get him on the board here at the start of this half. He misses the free throw, but that's a good sign for the Indians. They're starting to get to the basket again despite the pressure. Geske brings it down the floor. He's going to drive right by 2 Indians to make that basket. Not very good defense there.
Not at all. Indians are going to have to find somebody else to guard Geske. Darlington just got burned on that play.
Volkening with the pass over the top to Shepard. He goes right over the top of Geske. This time Getsy's going to get the charge. You can't run into the same guy too many times. He's eventually going to get it.
Oh, absolutely. The Indians really haven't made an adjustment to their defense, but South has come out with some great defensive pressure. It's forced a couple turnovers, and they've evened out this game.
Getsky brings it down, gives it to Rogers. Rogers, a hard drive. That's just a man drive there.
Oh, absolutely. That's a bull in a china shop right there.
Absolutely. He just bounced Rogatich right off side of him and went strong, hard, makes it and draws the foul. And South takes the lead here for the first time in the second half. A free throw no good. Rogatich wrangles that free throw down, and Shepard gets his pocket picked by Johnson. Johnson to the basket, and South has put 2 baskets in a row together. Pettit's going to have to call a timeout. We got a 33-29 Gator lead.
I think this is a great job by the Indians. They needed to stop the momentum. They needed to stop the bleeding. I imagine if I'm Pettit right now, I got to talk about slowing down the Gators' charge.
He might have given him a little earful there, or maybe Weston Shepard a little earful, getting his pocket picked at half court. But
yeah, you can't, as a guard, you can't slow your momentum down as soon as you cross that line. You got to penetrate a little bit further into the zone before you back out.
He is a sophomore and still learning some of the ropes, but overall, I know Pettit is very pleased with his leadership he's showing already and his offensive and defensive play. So with 5:01 left here in this third quarter, we got a 33-29 lead by the visiting Gators. So far at this point, the Indians have 2 team fouls. The Gators have 1. Still hoping that Rogatich can get going here and get a few points on that board. You'd like to see Vulcaning. Something on the inside, that drive and quick kick to those baseline players for the easy layups. Shepard working it down against Johnson. Johnson went to pick it away. This time Shepard went right around him. Velasquez, quick pass to Vulcaning, off his hands, but he gets it back to Shepard along that left wing. He'll back it back out, and the Indians reset it up. Velasquez on the drive, gets it tipped behind, but it's Smith of the Gators who last touched it before it went out of bounds.
I think the Gators have started to figure out this dribble drive offense a little bit, and they're being a little bit more patient on defense. They've backed off on the pressure a little bit, but they're still getting some turnovers.
Long pass by Shepard goes out of bounds over the outstretched hands of Velasquez, so the Gators are going to get it. Rogers to inbound, and the Indians will put a lot of pressure here. Start. Barsh bringing it down against Kissack. Passes over to Geske. Geske to Rogers. Rogers back to the near side. Barsh pass to Smith, and there's that 6'5 player, Smith, with his shot. No good. Johnson with the offensive rebound and a quick kick out. Barsh gets it after the Indians touched it. Barsh brings it down. Rogers with the hard drive. Blocking foul against Velasquez. What do you make of that sequence?
I think that was excellent pressure that the Gators are putting on the Indians. They're doing a great job of passing them the ball around the key, and they're doing a great job of penetrating.
Over the top to Geske. Geske's alone by himself. Takes one dribble and up for the shot, and that might be 2 quick ones on Velasquez here in the third quarter.
Looks like Rogatich is coming in. It's going to take out Velasquez. Velasquez is fouled out of the game. We're only in the third quarter here. That must have been 3 quick ones.
Wow.
With 3:59 left in the third quarter, Justin Velasquez is out of the game. That's going to be tough for the Indians.
He's not a huge offensive threat on most nights, but he is a very important defensive factor or tool in Pettit's arsenal.
Yeah, Pettit was going small here. He had Rogatich out of the game. He had Kissick. He had Shepard. He has Kundi in the game, and he also had Velasquez. But I think this is a perfect time for Rogatich to get into this ball game.
Yeah, I think he was trying to address the speed and quickness of South with his own small lineup. Well, Geske makes both free throws, and we got a 35-29 lead, and the Indians in danger of falling behind.
The Gators are really putting a lot of pressure on right now. They're trying to take this game over defensively.
Ooh. Barsh just called for a foul. It might have kind of bailed the Indians out as they tipped that ball out of bounds. But Marengo will have the ball, and the Gators going to come up, step up, and give them all kinds of trouble. Given to Weston. Weston brings it down the floor. Over to Kissick. Kissick back to Shepard. Shepard's going to work it back to the top of the key. Back to Kissick. They're trying to find that hole. Kissick back out to Shepard, so they're playing that spread offense here, looking for that seam to get to the basket. There goes Cundy. Cundy back to Kissick. You know, the worry here is in all this dribbling that, of course, you might have the turnover. Shepard's going to take it hard. Over to Volkening. Volkening with the drive. He's fouled on the... No, he's fouled. They're going to call it as fouled in the act of shooting.
Yeah, and he was clearly looking to pass and get rid of that basketball.
I don't think Pettit's going to argue that one at all, so...
Two South defenders in his face. Rogers with his first foul of the game.
So Volkening to the line to shoot 2. Indians down by 6.
The Indians really need to take advantage of these free throw opportunities.
And Volkening short on his first one.
Indians look a little intimidated right now. They need to get their mojo back. They need to find ways to get the basketball down the floor.
I think that Gator pressure is a factor.
They're really turning it up.
Cundy on Getsky for the Gators, who brings it down over to Rogers. Rogers works it back to the middle of the floor over to Barsh. Barsh is going to take a shot for a 3. That's no good. Quick pass ahead by Kissick is stolen by Maloney. Maloney to Getsky. Getsky over to Barsh. Quick inside to Rogers, and Rogers is going to go to work with the drive. But that shot does not fall, but he's definitely going the line on that foul.
Yeah, you can see a stark difference right now between two teams. The Gators, they're starting their offense maybe a foot or two beyond the three-point line, whereas the Indians are starting their offense on the wrong side of the volleyball line. So two stark differences. The Gators are looking to attack. First free throw by Rogers is missed. And the Indians, they're not quite looking to attack. They're looking to spread and then look for opportunities to attack. I think Pettit needs to change up this mindset a little bit. Regardless, though, the Indians are rolling down by 5 with 2:52 left in the third quarter. Rogers hits his second free throw, 36-29.
The Gators seem to change their game plan a little. No more full court press. Kissick on the drive, but he's called for the travel. I'm nervous that these are indications of a little unraveling here on the part of the Indians' offensive.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too, but it looks like, you know, if Pettit just kind of changes up some of these matchups a little bit and goes with a more physical lineup, Rondorf is in the game, I think that will certainly help.
Geske brought it down, a quick pass over to Maloney, who passed it inside to Rogers. And you see it's a pretty simple formula here. Let's get it to the left side. Let's get it down to Rogers, and let's let Rogers go to work.
Absolutely, and the Indians haven't quite found a solution for that yet. Rogers has 13 points. Geske has 15 points. It's clear who you got to stop if you want a chance at winning this game.
Rogers starting to struggle here from the line, or this be a different game. In comes Simonetti for the Indians.
You got to wonder if that's a little game time fatigue. Rogers has been on the floor the entire game, and you can see it's starting to wear on him a little bit.
Second one is good. Western Shepard will bring it down against number 22, Ferrix, for the Gators. Shepard quick down. Quick back cut by Cundy. Ball is tipped out of bounds by the Gators, so Marengo will have it. Out of bounds underneath. Darlington set to inbound. Ball tipped away by Volkening right to Getsky. Getsky's going to drive it the length, spinning. He's called for the travel. Nice move, but might have had a couple extra steps.
Yeah, maybe, but he's not looking too pleased right now. He thinks that maybe, he was hit or something on that foul, on that last play.
Well, there's only one opinion that matters. Shepard brings it down. Darlington moves it across to Cundy. Cundy back over to Simonini, over to Volkening, looking inside. Blocked by Geske, but it appears a foul has been called. And Volkening will go to the line for 2.
He's going to get 2. I think the key to this game is for the Indians to really capitalize on these free throws.
They're going to need every point. They're now down by 6 after that make by Volkening.
This should be noted with 1:57 left in the third quarter. The Indians have 6 fouls. One more, and that'll put the Gators into the bonus before the fourth quarter.
Volkening connects on both, bringing the Indians to within 5. Barsh brings it down for the Gators. Over to Frerick. Of course, they're going right inside to Rogers. Don't mess with what works. His shot is no good, and the Indians come away with the rebound. Shepard with the ball works it across to Simonini. Simonini to Cundy on the near side of the court. Cundy drives in, shoots over the top of Maloney, no good. Barsh straight down, and there's Rogers running, fouled. Basket is good. Shepard with the reach in.
Yeah, that was a great hustle play by Rogers, but you could see the look of exhaustion on his face after he finished that shot.
It's big minutes.
Big minutes, and he's a high hustle, high motor type of player, so he's going to need a breather here or there. And when he does get that breather, the Indians need to look to attack.
They're going to have to take advantage of that moment. But do they have an offensive weapon for themselves? Oh, there's Volkening on the inside. Gets the pass from Shepard. He moves to his right side, a little half hook. Passes, shot is no good, but he's going to go to the line for 2. Connected on his last 2.
But Volkening hasn't been the most consistent this game, so he's really going to have to focus, and he's really going to have to dig deep to make sure he gets these in. Off the front of the rim, he's got to buckle down. He's got to use his legs.
He's got 5 on the game thus far. Most of that coming from the line. Makes the second one. Indians down by 7. Simonini tipped the Gator pass away, but the Gators get it back. Maloney's pass to
Metzler.
Metzler's going to shoot the 3, and that is good. Trouble for the Indians. They are now down by 9 with 50 seconds left in the half. Simonini from the corner. He answers. That is a big shot for the Indians going into this fourth quarter.
That is a real big shot. The refs credited Metzler with the long 2 instead of the 3, so that 3-point shot by Simonini really helps out.
It brings them to within 6 here going into the fourth quarter. Rogers with the ball on the outside, guarded by Cundy. Passes it back across to Frericks. Frericks connects with Borsch, and they're going to back it out and reset up the offense. Out comes Rogers. Looks like some kind of isolation play. There goes Rogers. Spinning. Jump shot. Good. There's your answer man for the Gators.
Absolutely. As we head into this fourth quarter, that has to be something to talk about. Last second shot in the corner by Darlington is a miss, but this game is far from over.
An 8-point lead for the Gators. 8 points with 8 minutes left in this game. The Indians are just going to have to get some more scoring somewhere. That's going to be one of the keys here, because certainly the Gators are getting what they need out of, especially in the second half, out of Rogers.
Well, I think right now the Gators have completely thrown the Indians off their game. You don't see the ferocity in rebounds. You don't see the abundance in offensive boards. And to a degree, the Gators are limiting the Indians to one shot or no shots. And if you're going to crawl yourself back into the game, you got to get a shot off.
Absolutely. You've got to get not just one, but you've got to get those second opportunities and third opportunities as well from time to time. And that just didn't happen in the third quarter.
You know, one thing we really haven't seen the Indians do is a press. So I almost wonder if at the, as we head into this fourth quarter, if you don't put the press on and maybe try and, exploit some of their ball handlers or exploit some of those passes. Both teams have had their fair share of turnovers. Interesting to see what happens here in this fourth quarter.
All right, we're set to start, and it's going to be the Gator ball to start this out. Johnson with the ball to inbound, looking for Barsh. Barsh guarded by Shepard. Barsh works it across half court, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson over to Metzer. Metzer gets it to Geske, and he knocks down the shot.
Not just any shot. He knocked down a beautiful three-pointer right there.
Knocked down a three-pointer, and that's going to give him that 11-point lead here to start. Pass over the top by Shepard to Volkening. Volkening can't get it to go down, and the ball's going to go over to the Gators. South with an 11-point lead and an opportunity to extend. Inbounded to Barsh. Shepard's up on him. Indians putting up a little token pressure here, hoping for an opportunity. Barsh to Metzer. Geske from the corner. That's two in a row. Another three-pointer for Geske. And the Indians starting to open this one up. Cundy trying to answer. It is good, but he traveled before. So it'll go turnover to the Gators. Nice shot by Cundy, though.
Kissick checks into the game for Darlington. Yeah, the Gators are doing a great job. I think they've found the right lineup. They've got a couple quick guards out on the floor, and they've got some shooters in Geske, in Rogers, and in Metzler. So they got three guys on the outside that have been hitting.
Barsh to Geske. Geske over to, it's Metzer.
Metzler, that's the third straight shot from that corner, and they've hit.
Third straight three, and it really digs a hole for the Indians. We've got a Gators 53-36 lead, just like that, at the start of the fourth quarter. 9 straight points makes it tough.
Oh, absolutely. The Indians, they're getting some okay looks, but right at this point, it's the small things. It's the travels. It's the turnovers. It's playing smart, aggressive basketball.
Scores table. Otherwise, we will pull another ticket at the next timeout. That number again was 0105256.
6:41 left in the game. The Gators are in the bonus. Crystal Lake South has 5 fouls. They've got a few fouls to spare here. The Indians really need to consider putting on some pressure if they're going to try and contain this Gator charge.
I think in this particular, in the beginning of this fourth quarter and the end of the third quarter, the Gators really showing the strength, I think, on both ends of the floor. They showed that in the first half, but in the second half offensively, they're showing the strength. They're getting more comfortable, and they're getting the kind of shots they want, the kind of shots that have built them a nice lead here.
Yeah, it took the Gators a while, but I think they've really settled into what they want to do, and they are dictating the pace of the game right now.
So the Indians to start with it, Rogatich to inbound. He gives it to Shepard. Shepard puts it across half court to Rogatich to Volkening. Back to Rogatich at the top of the key. Sees Cundy. Cundy looks for the three and then drives to the basket. Fouled on the way up. Basket is no good, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. That's a pretty good play to start with.
Absolutely, and you know what? Those are opportunities. He had a chance to finish that shot with little to no, nobody in his face, and you really have to convert those.
Definitely it was fouled, but that's one of those you'd love to see go in. He hits the first free throw. Cundy with 4 on the game. Connects on the second.
You got a nice little shooter's touch bounce on that shot there.
Absolutely, but everything counts here. Or better yet for the Indians, everything's going to need to count. Shot from the corner, they 4 times in a row. This time no good. Shepard pushes it down the floor, knocks down the quick jumper. 4 straight points for the Indians. It's the kind of start they needed, and a turnover by the Gators on pressure from Cundy. So Cundy pressuring Geske, And Getsky turns the ball over.
Indians are going to have another opportunity to start getting this down. I'll tell you what, if we can get within 10 points with 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, I think the Indians got a chance.
Cundy works it from the block, turns to the inside. Shot is no good.
That was not
South
a great
gets
shot.
it quickly down the floor to Rogers. Rogers with a strong move. Shot is no good. Goes up again. Again, no good. Referees let him play a little bit there.
Yeah, and as they should. I didn't really see any foul play there. That was just hard, aggressive rebounding, and those were just quick shots. His feet weren't set. He wasn't squared to the basket. If I'm a referee, I have a hard time calling that foul.
Shepard with a quick pass to Cundy down the corner. He tried to drive baseline, but Barsh is there, takes the charge. Here comes that pressure you were hoping for. Gators quick into Getsky. Rogatich on Getsky. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Cundy on Getsky. Getsky goes right by him. Quick pass to Maloney. Maloney to Getsky. Shot from the corner by Johnson is incomplete, and Kissack comes down with that ball. Passed it over to Cundy, tipped away by what it looks like Barsh, and the Indians will have it. Weston Shepard set to inbound.
Yeah, one thing you notice about the Gators is they've got 2 players in Getsky and in Rogers. They're tall and they're quick. Indians are having a tough time matching up with those 2 right now.
And they're really carrying the entire team. Pass inside to Volkening. Volkening's fouled and then makes the basket. Good strong move for Volkening. That's what we've been hoping to see.
And that was a tough shot. So, Volkening has an opportunity here to extend this to a 3-point play. He gets 1 shot. Here's hoping he does.
More important, that's 6 points in a row for the Indians, and they needed some kind of little run.
Yeah, they need a little spark. And if you notice, you got Kissick on the floor. Kissick is a little bit more of a physical presence on the defensive side, and they've got him matched up with Barsh.
I agree. The Gators bring it down the floor quickly. They get it right into Metzer. Metzer down along the baseline, goes up. He's fouled. Doesn't make the shot, but he's going to go to the line and shoot 2, and that's the 9th foul for the Indians.
4:58 left in the game. Both teams are in the bonus currently. First shot is up by Metzler, and it is good. Gators lead 54-42.
Metzer makes the second. So Shepard will bring it up for the Indians. Up along the top of that key. Into Volkening now near the 3-point line. Test the right side. Over the top to Rogatich. Nice over-the-top pass there by Shepard. Rogatich makes the basket. We got a 55-44 lead by South.
Yeah,
Maloney now on the far with the ball on the far side. He quick cross-court pass to Metzer, who's been shooting the 3 for a big man. Rogers, the offensive rebound, and finally Cundy comes away with it. And Cundy will take it in himself. That's no good. Barsh with the defensive rebound. Weston Shepard, nice job there. Rogers got it out on the fast break, but Shepard stepped in front, caused the travel. Very nice defensive play there.
Gators are going to take a full-time timeout to kind of talk about this. You almost got to wonder, at some point, I think the Gators are going to start killing some clock here. And if I'm the Indians, you need to be well aware of what could be happening.
I need to be ready to jump in those passing lanes, because definitely the only way the Indians are getting back here with 4 minutes left is they're going to have to get some quick defensive steals and buckets.
Yeah, the Indians, they're down by 11. They need to find a way to get this under 10. They need to find a way to tip the momentum in their favor.
Definitely not an impossible thing here, but it's going to take some a bounce or 2 to go the Indians' way.
Absolutely. One thing that could really help is the fan support by the Marengo student section. There's a pretty good crowd here tonight. A lot of people came out to celebrate the Hall of Fame inductees right before the game. Kind of a nice event for the Marengo community.
And important because this is a new thing. It's the first time we've done that. So this is the inaugural class, you would will.
Yeah,
So-
a lot of great names and a lot of great inductees. The one that really stood out in my mind was the member of the class of 1858 that played on the Chicago Cubs World Series championship team. That was quite a long time ago.
A pitcher, no less. Here we are back to action. Volkening passing over to Shepard as the Indians start out with the ball here. Cundy goes to the corner. Kissak's going to launch a three. That one's over the top. And the Gators come up with a rebound. Quick out to Barsh. Oh, Barsh is going to give it right back. Volkening out on a runner. And he makes the layup. That's the kind of things the Indians are going to need to have happen.
That was a
back into
great
this
hustle
one.
play by Rogatic. He just took off.
And they're back into single digits here. Gators with Maloney on the near side. He'll work it back up to the top of the key and now out to the far side. Barsh back to the Getsky. Getsky over to Maloney. Down to Rogers. Over to Barsh at the top of the key. He'll work it back across. Kick to Maloney on the far side. Maloney looking inside. That ball's knocked away by Shepard.
That was
The
great
Gators
pressure
will
by
have-
the Indians, but, 20 seconds expired on that clock. And in this game, the way it's been going, seconds are points.
Absolutely. You definitely see that the Gators are taking their time here. They're not going to rush anything. Even an open Rogers doesn't tempt Maloney's pass. Rogers with the ball along the baseline. Kicks it inside to Barsh. He's open with the turnaround jumper. No good, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot two.
.250 left in the ball game. That was Marengo's 10th foul. Every foul from here on out will result in 2 free throws for the Gators. First attempt is good. Gators lead 56-46. That deficit is back within double digits.
Barsh to shoot his second. That is good. For the Gators, back in comes Frericks. And Maloney will sit down.
Darlington checks back into the game for the Indians.
Shepard passes to Volkening. Volkening to Rogatic. Rogatic bats to Shepard. Cundy with a shot. In and out. That one just rimmed in and out. Mad scramble for the basketball. Volkening comes up with it. Passes to Cundy. Cundy is fouled on the shot, so he'll go to the line. More importantly, he stops the clock and gets an opportunity at 2.
Yeah, and some of those breaks we're talking about, Cundy needs to find a way to make that shot, but the rebound fell in the right direction, and Cundy got fouled as he grabbed it.
Volkening extended that play by getting down on the floor and digging for that ball.
First free throw attempt by Cundy is an air ball. Fatigue must be setting in right now for the Indians. They got to find a way to stay focused and finish this game strong.
Smith and Frericks check out for the Gators. Getsky now with the ball after the second miss. Getsky looking to drive. Almost got his pocket picked by Cundy, but Cundy called for a foul. So that'll send Getsky to the line for 2.
That is not the guy you want to send to the line.
He's got 21 to this point in the game. One of the things that with 2:22 left that concerns me is that Crystal Lake South has 3 players who have scored more points than any of Marengo's players who are on the floor. So that's 3 scorers for the Gators who are clearly more productive than what we have on the floor for the Indians.
Yeah.
Second free throw is in no good. Shepard brings it down quick into Volkening in the post. He's going to quick kick it to the other side. Darlington shoot the 3, and it's good. Darlington hits the 3. And that's his first points of the game. Indians are going to take a quick timeout.
2:03 left in the fourth quarter. I'll tell you what, It looks like Pettit is chosen in favor of size for athleticism, and that might be hurting him right now. You've got Rondorf sitting on the bench, a player that has shown that he has earned his dues on that floor. He's gotten some great rebounds, and he had a heck of a first half, but he's been kind of quiet in that second half. The Gators, on the other hand, they just have their foot on the gas. Rogers and Geske have taken over this game, and as all the attention is swarmed on them, that's given opportunities for Barsh and given opportunities for Metzler.
So here we go. The Indians up with full pressure, trying to double team Barsh. It looked like a diamond and one there. The Gators able to get through that, and Barsh has it at the top of the key. Kick over to Rogers. Barsh over to Maloney on the far side.
Yeah, the Gators are definitely taking their time.
Cross court to Barsh. Absolutely, you're slowing it down.
They passed up 2 open shots, looking for the right person to take the shot. Rogers got fouled. He's going to be going to the line. And you know what? If the game's on the line, I want him shooting. I want Geske shooting. Both of those guys, 19 and 22 points respectively. They're definitely the motor that's driving this train right now.
Although Rogers definitely struggling from the free throw line today. Started out very hot and has cooled off as this game has gone on.
You got to be wondering right now if that Justin Velasquez foul out in the third quarter is starting to hurt the Indians.
Certainly his defensive presence in a press situation would have been good. There's Rogatich, jump shot is good. Nice pass from Shepard, finding him open.
The Indians are crawling back, but the clock keeps ticking. 1:24 left in regulation.
Into Barsh, looking for the trap over the top. Shepard slow on trying to get over there.
Oh, yeah.
Geske passes to Smith. And
they're looking to kill time. Smith just passed up a wide open layup.
Johnson to Geske to Barsh at the top, and the Indians are starting to get after it. It's be almost foul situation here pretty soon. Geske, quick cross-court pass. Johnson back to Barsh, back to Geske. Getze's going to drive, and then he's finally fouled.
There's the foul call
Rogatich.
with 53.4 seconds left. It's not quite the person you want to send to the line, but at this point, you got to stop the clock.
Nope, and unfortunately, that's going to be Rogatich. The Indians' leading scorer on the season is just fouled out of the game. Simonini's going to come in and replace him. Geske's going to go on the line, and the Indians brought it back to within 7. But you're going to have to hope for some misses by the Gators and some quick buckets.
But, on a positive note, Simonini did have a nice 3-point turnaround there in the third quarter. And, maybe this is a good move for the Indians. Rogatich isn't an outside 3-point threat. Simonini is. This could really help them out.
Absolutely. And we did see some good things during the game. I think there was a good defense, and I really liked their offensive rebounding, particularly in that first quarter. But that pressure of the Gators, I think, will ultimately be the real deciding factor. And there's Volkening with a nice drive to the basket.
Oof.
Made the basket. 2 points is good. The Indians bring it to within 9.
That was a correction. He got called for traveling.
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 Got called for traveling.
Shot is called off.
Happy feet, and the Gators have the ball. Whoa.
The Gators step on the line inbounding the ball and turn it over to the Indians with 41.7 seconds left. This is going to be their ball underneath their basket.
Down by 9 is the key here, so the Indians are going to have to get something quick, and they're going to need to quickly get the ball back then.
They're going to need to shoot.
Shepard's going to get it. Quick shot, 3. That's what they need.
That's good, and there's your timeout.
Timeout. Pettit's going to call it timeout to conserve a little time, and they're going to bring it to within 6.
This is a two-score game right now.
2-possession game, possibly.
Indians have done a pretty good job as of late crawling back, but the Gators are playing with poise, and if you leave any one of those players on the floor, they're going to hurt you.
Now, one of the players I'd love to be seeing shooting these shots is Weston Shepard. That young man has logged more hours in this gym on the shooting machine than anybody else in the school.
Yeah, I've seen Weston Shepard here at 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, and if the game's going to come down, you want the guy that spends the hours in the gym. And right now, you can tell, game on the line, he's shooting pretty smooth.
What do you mean you've seen him at 5:30, 5:45? You don't even roll out of bed till 7:30. Let's be realistic. So the Indians on the quick foul. That foul is on Johnson. Kissack was the one who fouled him.
Looks like Jesse Darlington's going to find his way back into the ball game.
And that's because I believe that is no, that's Kissack's fourth. So Darlington's going to come in and replace. Darlington's going to come in and replace Kissack when we come back to the action. Johnson's first throw is no good.
We keep it a 6-point ball game with 37.1 seconds left. The Indians need to come down, hit a basket, stop the clock. Preferably without fouling. Second attempt. Short off the front of the rim, but he gets his own rebound.
That's a big rebound. Johnson with a rebound. Quick out to Getsky, and South's going to open it up. Finally, Smith is fouled by Cundy. That's a big, big, big offensive rebound.
Absolutely.
And a dagger, really a dagger in the heart of the Indians.
But if I'm going to foul anybody, I'm going to foul Smith or I'm going to foul Johnson because they haven't been shooting great from the line. So the Indians' hopes are still alive, but with 29.1 seconds left on the game, you're going to have to do whatever you can to get this going.
In comes Knobloch here with 29 seconds left. This is one of the young men they're really looking forward to in the future. A freshman. He's been playing a lot of minutes on a sophomore team and then getting some time in the varsity. He's very quick, very aggressive, can hit the three. Along with Kissick and Shepard, they really do have a nice young nucleus here to build around for the next couple of years.
Your only non-3-point threat out there is your glass cleaner right now, and you're going to find that Volkening is going to get down onto that block while the four guards just spread out wide. Geske is playing Shepard pretty close. I think they know where that ball is going.
Ooh, Shepard makes a move
Shepard
right by him, knocks down the three, and there's another full timeout by Pettit. So, well, what do you know? 17 seconds left. The Gators are going to have the ball, and a slim or slimming 3-point lead. Shepard has knocked down two in a row.
What would you do in this situation, Price? As a former varsity basketball coach, what move do you make?
I think if you're the Gators, clearly you have to gang up on Shepard. But I think for the Indians, of course, you're going to have to get up there. You're going to have to get up in the grill. It's going to have to either be a steal or a quick foul. Of course, hopefully send them to the line. I think that's your game plan.
Yeah, and if you're going to foul anybody, you got to consider who you're fouling at this point in the game. If I'm Crystal Lake South, I'm putting in free throw shooters and I'm putting in 3-point threats. You want your shooters out on that floor. You got Meitzler, you got Geske, you got Rogers. All those guys can put it in. Johnson struggled a little bit, and you got Barsh out there who's also struggled a little bit. But all of those players on the floor for the Gators can push that ball up the floor.
If the Indians can get a quick steal here, they don't necessarily need a three. 17.5 seconds is still a lot of time. A quick two, bring it to within one, and then play the foul game. But they really have to try to get a steal here.
That's the guy you want to foul. They're going for it.
Yeah,
They're going for Barsh. 10.7 seconds left. There's still plenty of opportunity here if he misses both of these shots.
10.7. And the Gators have certainly helped to keep the Indians in this ball game by not hitting the free throws. You just, from the Indian standpoint, you hope that Barsh keeps going with that trend. His first is good. That's going to mean a 4-point game with 10.7 left.
Yeah, the Gators certainly aren't making this easy on the Indians right now. But a quick transition point and a quick foul, it could turn into a really competitive, really, really high intense end of the game. And here we go. The Indians come down with 8 seconds on the count.
He's looking for Knobloch. Knobloch's going to quick skip it up. Incomplete. But Darlington's got the rebound. Shepard's going to throw it up again just off the front of the rim, and that's going to bring an end to the game. So they had a few shots, a few opportunities there, but it's tough when you're down by 4 with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, and this was a really good game. It was on a really good evening where a lot of fans came out for the Hall of Fame induction. The Indians played hard. The Gators played hard. But at the end, I think the bite of the Gators just got to the Indians.
And the Gators have been playing very well lately. They have this concept of a reboot here at the end of the season, trying to finish out strong after some disappointing losses earlier in the season. And he definitely showed it in just the intensity and the physical play that they had. The Indians have a lot to look forward to here coming up in the future. Certainly, being one of their last games here. Next year, they're looking at some real strong young players, particularly at the guard spot, to go along with some of those seasoned veterans.
Well, I think that says a lot about those players that came in at the end of the game. I mean, we talked at length about Kissick. We talked at length about Simonini. But, at the end, bringing in the freshman, I thought that was a pretty bold move, and that showed a lot of confidence in him. And, in fact, he ended up taking one of the last shots of the game. So, unfortunately, he didn't go, but I think this will be a great experience for him moving forward.
Absolutely. I'm very excited about Indian basketball next year and how that's going to look and how some of the young players are going to continue to grow and step up.
All right. Well, this is R.J. Meyer for Marengo Indians IHSA TV. I'm here with Todd Price. I've had a great time tonight.
I have absolutely had a great time. Hoping to do this again with you sometime in the future. Hopefully my voice is in a little better shape.
All right. Well, to everyone out there listening, have a great evening.
Absolutely. And for all those here, have a safe trip home. And we hope you will listen the next time IHSA TV comes to Marengo High School. Thank you.